Okay, so today we have Eoin McGuiness, who's the founder of Crann, which is a sustainable sunglasses and watch business, which is amazing. Like, sustainability is so important, especially in 2020. He's going to talk us through how he started Crann, what the start process is like, the marketing, how the business has coped through COVID, get a bit of an insight into his business. Thank you for your time today, Eoin. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks so much for having me.
So I guess to kick off, how did you first get the idea for your business? When was that planted into your brain?
Yeah, good question. So it was actually planted into my brain quite a long time ago. I spent a little bit of time in Thailand a number of years ago when I finished uni. I went traveling and kind of was teaching in schools, and sort of at that point I realized that they spent a lot of their time reusing materials and turning them into new things. So whether that's in the form of breaking down a piece of furniture and turning it into bowls, or like right through to the plastic products they had. I actually just thought that was fascinating, and that's initially where the seed was planted. And it took a long time before I pulled the trigger on what I was going to do, and how I was going to try and incorporate that principle into a functional business. And back in 2018, I spent a little bit of time prototyping products and prototyping concepts, and then that's initially where I realized there's two things I really like. I love watches, a huge watch fan, and I am a huge fan of sunnies because I've got squinty eyes. So I like the idea of having two things that I actually genuinely am interested in. I tried a few other things in prototype stage, and I just didn't have a love for it. And I think that was really important. I found something I liked and I loved, and then I kind of built that principle and those products then around sort of the brand, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting about how you went to Thailand and how they reuse a lot of materials to make their products, like bowls. Like my flatmate, all her bowls are made out of coconuts. And you think if things are remade out of, other materials, it's not going to be as good quality. But they're such good quality. Like, they've lasted longer than anything else we have. And I think because the craftsmanship is, extra craftsmanship is put into these products, they're actually a lot better quality.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And I think that's an important factor. Like, the craftsmanship is the main reason why we actually, everything that we make is handcrafted. And it's made out of 100% recyclable materials. So, your sunnies ultimately could have been a chair in someone's house for 10 years. And the fact that someone is actually taking that raw material, crafting it into, a block, and then that block then becomes the leg of the sunglasses or the frame of the sunglasses. People spend so much time working on it that it's not just a thing of it's like printed or it's made really cheaply somewhere else in the world from new materials. This is something that's brand new. The other side of it as well is I think it becomes to an environmental side, because if you're using something that's recycled, you're ultimately not taking vital resources away from the planet again. And I think that's important. Manufacturing accounts for about 7% and 7 to 11%. So some articles will differ on this one, but between of all of the waste and the pollution that's caused in the world. Now, when you take something that's recycled, you're literally, taking something, trying to make it nearly carbon neutral in terms of the way that you're making it again. And again, that's something not just the craftsmanship piece of it, but also the environmental side of it as well.
I love that aspect of the business, like, reusing materials. That's amazing. So having this idea of, I want to make sustainable sunglasses and watches, great idea. That's a long way off an actual fully functioning business. So like, what was that? Like, have you run businesses before? What was that process like, starting the business?
Yeah, so I actually originally ran my first business at 17, and I had an exit when I was 22, and I actually funded a lot of my travels, which was great. But I suppose the thing from turning it into a concept and an idea really did take the longest period of time. I spent a lot of time on terms of making a concept, doing designs, figuring out what was the best materials, figuring out how we could do it, you know, as cost effectively as possible, but also keeping up the high standard and stuff. That was quite hard, even right down to, you know, the business name. Like, where are we going to go from it? Like, from an SEO perspective, what was going to make sense for the business? And I spent honestly, I pretty sure I spent around 6 to 10 months on that period. The name was actually probably one of the hardest things, because Crann in Irish means wood, or means tree. So the idea there was, I'm a very proud Irishman, so every product that we have has got an Irish name to it. So the idea there is that from an SEO perspective, we'd use a very short brand name, so it would be really easy to use for SEO. But also, when someone Googles something, most of our traffic actually comes from organic traffic, because our brand name is so strong in the market, and we spent a lot of time working on that. So that was one of the things I probably had a lot of sleepless nights at the start, trying to figure out, you know, not just thinking of something for no real reason, actually having a reason behind everything that we did that would hopefully drive more traffic to our sites.
100%. Like, you definitely get that feeling when you go on the website, everything's like very well thought out. Like, obviously the products are quality, but like your website is really high quality as well. Did you start with a small product range then and build out, or did you just go all in from the beginning?
No. Yeah, good question. So I actually started out with about 6 pairs of sunglasses and about 4 watches. So I started out really small, and started building up that way. And once I started getting, you know, customers coming in, which was probably the hardest part at the start, was getting customers to come through the doors, getting feedback from them, and then trying to build products based on what they wanted. So initially I actually had I had wood frames in terms of the legs on the sunnies, but I never had any that were full wood. Until I started getting lots of feedback on it, and people were like, "Oh, we'd love this if this would make such a big difference to the sunnies," and so on and so forth. So we made a lot of changes, and our newest range, which is 24 different pairs of sunglasses that we launched at the start of the year, started the summer period. That was every one of those was based on customer feedback. So for any business owners out there that are listening, like, start small. Figure out what your customers want, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that matter the most.
Yeah, like, you've touched on a really important point there, sort of being agile, sort of starting small and just adapt and actually listen to customer feedback and implement it.
Yeah, because customer feedback, like, they'll tell you what they're thinking. Like, honestly, like, I remember starting out, and my big decision was, look, we had a brand, we had a concept, we had a couple of products, and we launched probably sooner than we should have, but that was for a reason, because we wanted to test the market and see what was out there. And I remember a very good friend of mine ringing me and telling me that he had never had a package that was so hideous in his life.
Oh my
and
God.
that literally adapted then. Okay, cool, now we have to work on packaging. And then we worked on our packaging, and then it was like, then, you know, someone else would send you an email being like, why don't you have a case with your sunglasses? And then all of a sudden there's little things that people will give you, but, you know, no one's going to begrudge you for starting small and starting like lean. They'll, you know, you'll spend all your time thinking about stuff, but if you actually don't start at that early concept stage and just get something out there and let people give you feedback, you'll kind of never grow to where you want to be.
That is some savage feedback, but it sounds like it helped you a lot. So
yeah, massively. Yeah, the more blunt people are, the better.
Yeah, great. Touching back on like coming up with a name, I love finding out about how people built the brands and like the visual aspects of the business. Did you do it mostly yourself, or did you outsource some help for doing the branding?
Yeah, good question. So I actually did a lot of it myself. So I have a fairly decent team here in Crann. So we kind of sent around and we kind of did a bit of vision boarding and tried to figure out what we wanted to stand for first of all, and then started building out building out a lot of the concepts and a lot of the, you know, the logo and all that sort of stuff together. So there's certain things that I'm obviously not very strong on. So the graphic design stuff was one of them. So we actually just outsourced that when we did have concepts, and then we got some feedback on what would actually be best and where we should position things and all that kind of good stuff. But initially it was started out with myself and my team.
Yeah, cool. And I guess you already mentioned this, how you decide on the product, sunglasses and watches. It was simply because that's the thing you're most interested in. You were passionate about it, is that right?
Yeah, I think they're the things that, like, I personally wear the most, and they're the things that I like the most, and I love just the design of, you know, making slight tweaks and changes to certain things. And like, I'm a huge watch guy, so I kind of had a decision: would I buy a watch or would I start a brand? And I started a brand on the base of it instead of it. So I like just kind of taking simplicity but making it your own thing, and I think that's what's kind of most prevalent towards the business as you look through it.
Definitely, yeah. Is that advice you give to other people who want to start their own business? Just start with products that you're passionate about. Do you think that's important?
Yeah, I think if you love a product and you actually genuinely care about it, you'll put more effort into it, and you'll put more time into it, or, you know, you'll be extremely proud to wear, you know, whether that's a watch, whether it's Sunnies, whether that's a shirt, is things that you actually care about on a day-to-day. And it could be a case of you might be interested in motorbikes, and it might be you're going to take a different standpoint on a tire. It doesn't really matter. It's just something that you genuinely care about and you don't mind talking about all the time, because that's, you know, when you meet someone at a bar or you're talking to someone at a meeting, more than likely they're going to ask you about your business, and you have to love talking about it, and you have to have that passion. And whether that's, you know, a product or a concept, it just needs to be something you really care about.
Yeah, because it's easy to tell if someone's genuine or not when they're, you know, talking about the business, if they're genuinely passionate about it. And yeah, dead right there. So you have, you know, a beautiful website that you sell your products on. Are there any other avenues that you sell your products through, or is it mainly the website? How's that split up?
Yeah, good question. So it's very much about, roughly speaking, about 70% B2C, whether that's in the form of our website, or whether that's in the form of like eBay, or we've another couple of partners that we work with from in Ireland, the UK, and Australia, that would actually host our website or host our products on our website. Then the other side of it is the B2B side of things, where we sell directly to other businesses, mainly retail, to be honest, obviously, but that's sort of where where the kind of our split is. We actually started off at about 0%. It was 100% B2C, kind of coming into Christmas time last year, and we kind of made a little bit of a change, and COVID obviously sped that up a little bit more, but our model sort of slightly changed over the last couple of months, which has been going pretty well. But I think for most of our time it's going to be mainly B2C. That's we want that personal connection with the customers as much as we can.
Yeah. So you're happy with that ratio at the moment, sort of 70% B2C?
Yeah, like I think realistically, if we could be at 40-60, I think that would be probably where ideally we want to get to. I think that's the one where, you know, we would have that like really nice mix, which would be important.
Yeah, sounds good. And because I'm in marketing, I find it really interesting asking businesses what marketing strategies works best for them. And I suppose what would be interesting to know is, did you have any experience in marketing, and what sort of strategies have you implemented that have worked really, really well for Crann?
Yeah, so I do work for a company that has a marketing marketing automation company in the past. So that actually helped a lot, because I did have a fair understanding of marketing strategies. Now, from my standpoint, the things that actually work the best were the things that I actually discounted at the start. Influencer marketing for me is huge. It's absolutely massive for anyone that's has a fashion business or a health focused business. I think it's crazy if you're not already doing it. That's probably the thing. That's one area that's been huge for me. From a marketing standpoint, we've been very much focused on inbound and content marketing and SEO strategies. So as I said at the start, most of our traffic actually comes from SEO and from searches on Google and coming in from our social media channels. So we actually kind of automate a lot of those processes so that ultimately we're getting the best out of it. But influencer marketing and kind of the SEO, the inbound and kind of content marketing has been huge. I've got a particular blog that I wrote 3 years ago now at this point. I got 2 views on it for the first 2 months. And now at this point, I'm getting 1,000 views on it a month. Yeah. So stuff that is everlasting was really important. The big thing for me from a marketing strategy standpoint is, and I got it really wrong at the start, was actually Facebook strategies and Instagram marketing strategies. I blew so much money at the start without really knowing what I was doing. And I think that was one of the things that a lot of businesses like myself, especially at the early stages, think that you've got a golden nugget and you're just going to pump loads of money into it and it's just going to work and you're going to make loads of money. That's just not the case.
Yeah. Oh, it's so easy to spend money on Facebook ads and easy. People can really get caught out with that. You've given a few great tips there, but is there any more advice you'd give for someone? So they have the real business passion and want to start selling products, but just have zero marketing experience. Is there any advice you give for sort of total newbies to marketing and how to market a new business?
Yeah, simply start writing blogs, and if you're not able to write blogs, outsource it. There's solutions out there like iWriter, or there's certain content like blogging solutions that are out there. Start doing that, and always have a call to action at the end. So get someone to leave their name and their email address. The more details you have on someone, the more then down the road you can send them email marketing. And at the end of the day, for a business like mine, if you don't have a good content strategy, you don't have a good email strategy, you're going to find it really hard, and you're going to have to spend so much more money on Facebook ads and Google ads. Whereas you can kind of do it yourself if you do it right. It's slower and it's painful, but it works out in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, what you said about adding a call to action, 100%. I think if you think every page should have a purpose, so don't just write content for the sake of it, or get it up there, I just want it done and finished. What's the purpose of this blog post? Is it to get email subscribers to your mailing list? Is it so you want people to buy products? What's the purpose? And then follow that up with a call to action, or
because not everyone, 97% of people that come to your website aren't going to be ready to buy. And in e-com, it's even lower than that. It's 99%. So you're only going to get 1% of people that convert on your website. Why not increase that to 7 or 8% by getting their email address? Because all you're doing is you're getting them to convert, you're getting them to give you their information, and they're happy to give you that. And then it's up to you to keep them happy and to eventually get them to be, one of those 1 or 2% that actually buy from you. So that would be my big thing is don't be thinking constantly on sell, because it doesn't work. Think of it from a long term. If you want to be in a long-term business, you just have to be cleverer the way you market.
Definitely, 100% agree with that. That's really useful. You touched on an error you made with Facebook ads. You spent a lot of money. So that's sort of on the marketing side of things. With setting up your business, are there any major, or not necessarily major, even little mistakes you made, or something you'd want to warn new business owners, these are the errors I made, look out for this?
Yeah, cash flow.
Okay.
Simply one word, cash flow. I initially, when I started the business, I was so excited about it, and I actually didn't look at my bottom line every single month or every single week, and I probably put in a little bit more of my personal money into the business than I'd initially hoped to do. And that was kind of a case of I close my eyes and just hope for the best. And it's not a strategy I tell everyone to do. It's very much is, if you can be on top of how much is coming in and how much is going out every month, and really simply just making sure that you know exactly how much you as a business owner are willing to spend every single month, well, just stick to that. Because I think that's probably been personally the biggest error for me. And look, it worked out in the long run, don't get me wrong, but at the start, there was a middle stage where I really was like, okay, I've got a good product, I've got a good market base, just not getting the money that I want, and I'm spending too much. Should I close down the business or should I go and sell it? And then after that period of time, I actually sat down with an accountant, and we weren't making huge amounts of money. So that's the other thing I'd mention. Like, this is very much startup stage. I sat down with an accountant and they gave me the right tools and right ideas to actually look after the business properly. And then from that day on, it's really been an awful lot smoother of a process for me. I don't have as many headaches, and I'm not freaking out and I'm getting up in the middle of the night worrying about my business as much as I was.
Oh, good. I'm really happy to hear that. I mean, the last thing a startup needs is what's been happening over the past few months, everything with COVID. Like, it must be, stressful enough. That is the last thing you need. How's your business adapted to COVID, and how's it changed the business?
Yeah, I've actually changed it quite a lot over a very short period of time. I've focused a little bit more on of being a brand, not just being a sales place, if that makes sense. I know that's logically doesn't make sense in my head, but it's not just a website, or it's not just a place where you can buy sunnies and watches. We've really focused on the branding side of things more and more and more, and we've been doing that really for about a year and a half now. But this is where with COVID happening, has really doubled down on how we want to be perceived in the market. So what we've actually done is we've actually consolidate what we're doing and getting more brands or more websites to actually sell our products. And we've really focused on the online sales piece, because we already have a good net of retailers, which makes up somewhere in the region of that kind of 20% of our revenue comes from brick and mortar retailers. But we really want to have more and more brands that are using our products, and either we from a dropshipping perspective, we give them our products, we give them all of our marketing content, and we let them host all of our products on their website, and then we do all the back end stuff. So we actually send out the parcels, and we stock, and we kind of hold all the stock ourselves. And that's something we've doubled down on a lot, and we've had some really, really good success with that. Same thing then, we tried to help out other brands or other like boutiques or general shops in Ireland who had never really done e-com before. So we kind of helped them either with the setup, and we also offered our products as part of theirs, which is also in turn seen now that shops have opened again, we're actually seeing more of them stock our products, because we actually were willing to be helpful at the start. And also just giving them our products to use on their website already. So that's where our strategy sort of changed, and it's really been working quite effectively. We are starting to see more and more sales coming in through that channel, and it's a channel I actually never even envisioned really up until Q4 of last year, and with COVID it really accelerated. The e-com or the online marketing space is so huge at the minute. I'm glad it's something that I can as a brand we can actually tap into a little bit more.
Yeah, I can see why Crann will be so popular with dropshipping, because traditionally it's been really cheap products on AliExpress, Alibaba from China.
Yeah.
Whereas people, they're looking for better quality products, they're looking for a better customer experience, and they are, UK dropshippers are starting to look more UK suppliers, in Ireland as well. So I can see why it would be so popular.
But to me, it's crazy that you could. I'll give you an example. I bought a standing desk yesterday, or I bought a standing desk 7 months ago, and I still haven't seen it yet.
Wow.
And that came from a dropshipping company that's based in the UK.
Wow.
but they bought it from China and they've got it sent in. 7 months time, I still haven't seen it. So one of the big things that kind of we stand by at Crann as well is that we do 1 day shipping. So it's shipped either next day or same day, and it'll be in the UK or in Ireland. So in Ireland it'll be there next day or 2 days, and in the UK it's 3 to 5 depending on what part it is. So Highlands of Scotland you could be talking 6 days. But the concept here is that we really want to, you know, we want to give companies that are doing drop shipping good margins, because again that's really important, but we want to stand over our products and we want to get it to them quickly, and we want to get it to their customers quickly. So again, like that point is we really want to we look after the returns process, we give a lifetime guarantee on our products, so that if someone does break it, that they can return it again. So for the dropshipper themselves, they're coming out kind of hopefully smelling like roses, and that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to give them a good margin, give the products really good quality products, but also give them that peace of mind that they're not going to have to worry about those other parts that they hate dealing with, like returns and all that sort of stuff.
Amazing, yeah. It's just financially unsustainable. You know, you might say that standing desk you bought, yeah, they've got the money, but you're never going to buy from them again. So it's not a business model. It's like, it's very short-sighted. It's not going to long run.
And like then you're an unhappy customer, and then you're going to tell 10 people about it. And I think that was probably one of the key things I learned. I had a previous business before, and I was thinking it was one of the early things I learned. I was 17 or 18 when I set up that business, and it was one of the things I quickly learned, that once someone has a negative thing to say about you, they'll tell 10 people. If they have a positive thing to say about you, they'll tell 3. So I would much prefer to have those 3 people coming as a customer rather than having 10 people that I've completely lost out on. And I think, again, that's probably something that people forget about, especially as you get excited about a product or get excited about a business, is you kind of forget about who you're actually selling to. And I think that's the thing about the drop shipping side of things, is if, you know, everything should be customer first and everything else is second.
Yeah, definitely. Spot on, 100%. And what plans do you have for the future of Crann? What do you have in store for the business?
Yeah, $1 million question. No, we're looking at diversifying a little bit into new product ranges. So we're at the process right now of testing a few different concepts. So we have one of them in particular, which is going to be blue light glasses, which are going to launch in the start of September. And a very small range, like what we did at the start. We do concepts, we do 2 or 3 styles, and then we get feedback from people and change it. We're going to start doing eyewear, and we're looking at a couple of other sustainable wood products that we're going to bring into the market. But as I said, it's probably going to be a little bit further down the line. Hopefully September 2021 is the plan. And really for us as a business is just to double down on that strategy I talked about a little bit more, trying to get more people you know, having our products in their hands, whether that's in the form of coming from our website, from drop shipping, from marketplaces, wherever they can possibly be. Hopefully we'll get more people wearing Cranns, and that's the kind of the key. Hopefully that's what the future will hold more and more of.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great goal to have, just get everyone wearing Crann. That's yeah, well, thank you so much, Eoin. It's great to get the perspective of a business owner who has such an in-depth marketing background like you do, because you've given some great advice for new business owners, some like really practical tips that people can put into use. So yeah, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Ed, as well. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for answering the questions, and have a great rest of the day. Hopefully speak to you soon.
Chat to you soon. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.